Jimmy.
Hey Scott, how's it going?
You know what? It's going really well. I've been thinking a whole lot lately about something near and dear to my heart. Jimmy, what do you think about transportation infrastructure?
I love it.
You love it?
Can't get enough.
Can't get enough. The world wouldn't work without it.
I took a bus to get here. I'll take a bus to go
Well,
home.
okay. That's a different game. Because, Jimmy, we're not playing bus
We're
today.
not?
We're not. Do you see buses?
I guess not.
You don't. You know what you do see? Roads. Okay, well, you see roads.
I definitely see roads.
There's roads
this game
here
is
and here.
roads and donkeys.
Roads
right?
and donkeys. Yep. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's honestly hard to tell what exactly this says.
Yeah.
What does that say? Not the best graphic
Road
design.
Oats.
Road Oats.
Yep.
That famous band, Roads and Oats.
Yep.
This is Roads and Boats. This is a logistics game from Splotter, one of their oldest games, actually. I think like 99, I want to say.
That is ancient in board game
It's almost
terms.
20 years old.
Yeah.
Actually, I hadn't thought of it in that term,
Yeah.
that amount, but 20 years is a long time. And yeah, I remember when we first started to play kind of heavier games, and we were looking up other games like that were sort of well-regarded but more complex. And I remember us finding the game Roads and Boats and thinking that name was so stupid.
It's a very straightforward name.
It is a super straightforward name. You have games like, Arkham Horror,
Right.
which is kind of a dramatic name, or Twilight Imperium, things that sound like really grand.
Like,
War of the Ring.
Even something like Brass, which is like another economics game.
Mm-hmm.
But Brass doesn't necessarily tell you exactly what the game is about.
Right, you have to think like brass. That's
it's not
kind of like ominous.
Yeah, if it was called Rails and Cotton, that would get at the heart of it. But,
Yeah, but
Roads and Boats is
Roads
a
and
title that
Boats.
really tells you
game's
about movement.
It's about moving on land and by sea. So that explains it. So we set this up. We played a couple of rounds. This game, it's been a little bit since I've played this. I forgot how gradually this game ramps up.
Yeah.
Because what do we play, like 3 rounds just now?
Yeah, I think
3 or 4. You start with a few donkeys, some boards. So, okay, let me actually back up for a second here. What are we doing in this game? Let's talk about that for a sec. We need to get points, and you do that by sort of building a transportation empire, right? You're using like trucks and boats and donkeys to sort of maneuver goods all around the board in order to ultimately, what else would you do with transportation besides get stocks?
Transport stuff.
And you get stocks.
Yeah, you do get stocks.
That's the name of the game.
Transportation.
The pinnacle of transportation is creating and operating a stock market. Gold, stocks, and coins are the best way to get points in this game. But you do that, it can be a little hard to explain. I'm feeling it's a game where you start with very little and you add stuff together and it builds into this kind of big empire. It's almost like a civilization game, right?
Right. So I think you make, sort of the meat of the game is creating these engines that really power themselves, and then you put forward the transportation to make a more complicated system.
Yes, that's a good way of saying it. But yeah, it's really at its heart, it's a logistics game. And you're trying to figure out how do you get from point A to point B to point C to point D, and hopefully do it better than your opponent. Anyway, yeah, we're a couple rounds in right now. So I think we played through the end of the last phase, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so now we're at the start of the game. We're at production, where all our buildings are going to produce. They're going to create bricks. Trees are going to get cut down by donkeys. It's just, that's the way the world works.
Yep.
In this, I guess I assume this is like some European nation.
Yeah, I've never quite been sure on what sort of setting or time period this is supposed to, put forth. I always sort of pictured it as maybe like a colonization type of game,
Okay.
where you're sending some colonists out somewhere with some donkeys and saying, go forth, chop down some trees, build a city.
Like donkeys do.
Like donkeys do. Because pretty quickly you can start building things like oil rigs and trucks.
Yes.
and airports. So it's not
steamships.
right. So I think it's we're building a civilization in the sort of mid 1800s, maybe.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Sort of how I pictured it.
Pop in here real quick, because so yeah, you start off. I mean, you just have like an innocent little baby donkey, and you do things like cut down trees, get some logs. This game, by the way, has a whole lot of little cardboard counters.
Oh yeah.
That is sort of the lifeblood of this game. So you get little bits of wood. You dig up clay from the shore. It really makes you feel like you're right, like 1800. Like it's an old thing. But yeah, then suddenly you've got trucks that you can drive around, or what were you pulling out here? Yeah, airplanes. You get airplanes. Like it really ramps up time period a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard to set in a specific.
What the expansion adds: airports and rails and power plants
and bombs.
And bombs.
And the what is this? Like the MBA,
no, that's
which
right.
I believe they have another name for it. I can't remember what it is.
The something bullshit academy.
It's like the most bullshit academy or something stupid like that. Sorry, that's yours. But yeah, so as far as time period goes, this is a really hard game. I always like to try to figure out when and where games take place. This game, I don't know that you can figure that out. But anyway, so we're a couple rounds in. I figure we'll just we'll keep playing here. We'll see where this takes us, because this game can be long. This can be a long game. It supports up to 6 people with the expansion. We have only 2 here.
It plays pretty quick with 2.
It does.
Is my understanding.
Yeah. It can play a few hours, couple hours with 2. Anyway, so right now we're producing things. This game is really procedural. So like all of mine, all of your quarries here are just gonna get stuff on them. So automatically. It's like kind of a fun thing here is you get to see like the system you're building, like the engine you're building, kind of work on its own, which is fun, because as the game goes on, you'll get this board covered. And at the beginning, you have to do all this procedural stuff, but it's kind of nice to see all that grow up. So you got your stuff in?
I got my 2 normal producers, my 2 primary producers.
Primary producers.
But my donkeys are very shy, and they want
you're
to
producing
make
donkeys.
love. And here we have another
You got 3 of them over there now. Okay, that's right. I forgot that donkeys even produced. I should have been doing that. Thank you for reminding me. But anyway, I've just been producing geese this whole time. Oh, okay, cool. So now we have to move our guys around, and the movement phase is really where a lot of the decisions get made, right? Like it's the first phase of this 4-phase round where you're actually doing stuff, right? Because the rest is automatic.
Right.
So I'm personally trying to work on building a paper mill so I can research things. So I'm going to send my donkey up here. And a cool thing too in this game is you can kind of go at the same time up until you can't, which sounds dumb. But right now, because we're not even close to each other, nothing we do is going to interfere with the other player.
Right.
So it's kind of, you can just do your own thing, play simultaneously until we clash heads. And then you have to refer to I love this game, but if I'm being honest, this turn order business is a little obtuse.
It's not great.
This weird like praying at a temple, then it makes you more pious, so you can't pay attention to what else is going on in the world. It's a whole thing.
It feels like a tacked on theme a bit, but
a little bit, yeah. Well, actually, and this is another thing that happens in this game. I forgot to turn these logs into boards.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump back a turn and I'm going to do that. Part of this game, now it's been said by us, it's been said by other people, this is a kind of game that maybe would work a little better as a computer game in some ways.
Right, the minor sort of bookkeeping things as the game goes on can get really intense.
Yes.
Say, I've been forgetting to do that for many rounds.
Right, there's a lot of bookkeeping in this game. You get into a groove at some point, so I think we're done moving, now we're going to build.
That's right.
So we can only build one thing at a place. So I'm sort of where I need to be right now, because I need to move one more space, but I can't do that yet. So I'm not gonna move it all this turn.
Cool. I moved my donkey that that was just born over here, and I moved my donkey that was over here, right here, carrying some bricks.
Okay. So what are you trying to build right now, just out of curiosity?
I am looking to sort of set up for making a mint down the road.
Okay.
So right
you're
now
prepping for that point.
I'm looking to build a coal burner somewhere so I can start powering my mint.
What is it? Yeah, that's right. Because the mint requires things to work.
Right.
Some things don't require anything to work, like my sawmill here, your sawmill over there. Every turn, without fail, every round makes logs.
Right.
Just cuts down trees forever.
They're primary producers, which produce things from the sort of landscape that they're on. So
That's right.
woodcutters cut wood from this tile.
Right.
Quarries get
They
stone
mine
from
stone.
this. If you build mines here, they build things from the mountains. But then so your secondary producers, right now the only one we have out here is the sawmill.
Sawmill, yeah.
Where you take these logs and you plop them down on there and then they turn into boards. So I'm going to stack there.
Yeah, logistics.
Right.
Right, trying to figure out how do you get these logs to this place and how do you get these boards to where you need to build, your mines and whatever else. It gets super. There's a PC game that came out not that long ago, Factorio.
Yeah.
I've heard people offhandedly say that Factorio is a lot kind of in spirit like Roads and Boats.
I've heard that too, because you build you build an engine to get a different thing, and then you need to sort of cannibalize that engine to get to your win conditions or to make more efficient engines.
Yep. I've been curious to check it out.
There's a demo.
That's right. Okay,
Yeah.
there is a demo. I'll have to take a look at that.
It seemed fun.
But just so I guess there's some reference here. This looks wacky. This always, every time I see it, this player aid looks nuts. And this one I printed off online. This is not the official one. Believe it or not, this is actually more clear than the official one, I think. But this is nuts. But it's required to play the game.
Yeah.
Because you need to know this is kind of, to build some of the stuff, like to build a woodcutter, you need to build in the woods and it'll output logs. And so you use all these different things to ultimately create mints and stock exchanges, which gets you points. So yeah, when we're talking about, I'm planning on building this, I'm looking at building that, we're both using this reference sheet to kind of plot out our trajectories on here. Anyway, so we've built, right?
I have not built.
That's right. I chose not to build.
I am taking this brick away and building a road.
Which is something I also like a lot about this game. You get to draw
I love that.
all over the map. And, you use these little markers. I've expertly made sure not to put glare on this so that you can hopefully see little roads that got drawn here. Because you have to cover this game in a piece of plastic, which is also kind of quirky.
Yeah. Use a picture frame?
This is from a poster that I bought for this express purpose. I bought a poster frame with what I thought would be a good size for this player count, and just pop the plastic cover off, and then sit it right over. It sits flat. The game does come with plastic, but it sucks.
Yeah.
I threw it out within a day of having it.
You were using a pane of glass for a bit, right?
I was using an actual pane of glass for a bit, which I do also have.
Yeah.
With the pane of glass, actually, I prefer to the plastic because it's heavy,
Right.
and so it doesn't flop around. But it's glass, and it just felt dangerous moving it all the time.
Yeah.
If it slipped and I dropped it, there'd be a danger zone.
Nightmare.
Anyway, so you've built a road, and that lets you move your guys more easily now.
That is correct.
So now this again, another quirky part of this game, the wonder. We are, despite being competitors, we are still part of one world together. And we are trying to build, I guess, this great wonder of civilization and culture cooperatively. And now we need to choose if we want to add to that or not. We can add any goods. I've added 2 bricks to this wonder. Bricks made of geese in this instance, because you can use any good, and geese are considered a good. I'm not building into the wonder. I'm not able to right now.
Yeah,
I think
I
you're
also
in the same
have no
spot.
goods that can go there. So then we add
a neutral brick.
Neutral one with a little otter on it.
With a little otter on it. A little playful otter. Okay, well, next round then, production.
Great.
So let's automate this again. I don't know too many games like this game. I've heard people mention, I think it's called Newland, Neuland.
Haven't heard of it.
I see it come up now and again online when people bring up like, hey, you know, Roads and Boats is out of print right now. What can I get like it? Some people mention Newland, but I've also heard it isn't that much like it.
Right.
I think this scratches an itch that not a lot of games that I've played do. It really feels like a civilization builder or an RTS in a way.
So one of my favorite things in...
You can go ahead and move now, too.
Yeah, that's right.
One of your favorite things?
One of my favorite things in an RTS is that sort of early game phase where you're like rushing out to get all the resources. You're finding your minerals in StarCraft, or you're building farms or whatever in Age of Empires, and this sort of scratches that itch of like it's a mad dash for resources, and
certainly,
you want to be in on that. I guess I'll move this guy here. So now I have all my donkeys on the board, which feels good.
Something I regret not doing, getting more donkeys out, because I only have 3 to move, so I'm limited by what I can do, whereas you have 5 out right now. Yeah. And you'll also be able to turn those into wagons.
That is correct.
But you need roads for that.
Right.
Donkeys can traverse difficult terrain, but every other land transport requires you build roads. Again, infrastructure, logistics, it's kind of the name of this game. It literally, actually, roads and boats. Cool, so we've moved? You're good on movement?
Yep.
Okay, let's build. I'm gonna get into this map drawing business, and I'm gonna draw me a road.
Yeah, I'm building another road, and that is it for right now.
Actually, I'm gonna go ahead too and take advantage. I'm gonna see if I can end up connecting these. Right now I won't be able to, but soon I will. My 2 roads. It can be nice. I like to try to be a little artistic on this. Once you get your stuff connected, try to bridge them together.
I've always thought that, but then I'm moving stacks of stuff to connect them. But
I'm also moving ahead with my my first step towards the research project. If you'd be so kind as to hand me a paper mill building from over there.
It's this little pillow.
And is this little pillow? Look, 1999. Indie artist, graphic design, not always the clearest. But here we are. So cool, so I built a paper mill, and the reason I'm doing that is so I can start to research things. We've got these little tickers in front of us with glass beads on them. And these are different types of research we can do. We can't build steamships or trucks until we research that technology. And additionally, what I'm trying to do is research specialized mines, so I can control what's going to come out of these mountains a little more easily when I get to that phase. So let's see. So we have moved, we've built. You finished building?
I finished building.
Okay, let's
I'm just building a road this turn.
Let's move into the wonder phase then.
Great.
So there's one more spot here, and neither of us are able to claim it right now. So a neutral brick is going to go in, which will actually give me the entire row, because I have the majority in that row. So 2. I'm up on you on points right now, James.
Terrible.
20 points to 0 points,
That's
it looks
right.
like. I'm
playing the long game.
Your 5 donkeys are not going to get you very far.
I love these donkeys. They're my children.
Are you like some kind of an anthropomorphic donkey man?
Yeah, that's right.
Huh, okay. I mean, you know what?
Yeah.
If in this industry, we don't
Donkman Sam, they call me.
Donkman Sam.
Yeah,
building up New Donk City over there. Okay, well, Mr. Sam? What is it, Sam, your surname?
Please, Donkman.
Donkman. Okay, Donkman. Let's produce.
That's good. All right.
And then I need to start moving these boards, because I have this giant stack right now.
Yeah, I've got a huge stack of logs.
I remember the first time we played this game, first or second. I think you were coming and stealing a bunch of my bricks because I let them generate.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you snuck into my area, because none of us own the stuff we're making. Outside of our colored meeples, we don't own any of this.
Right.
And so you just wandered, I think it was a donkey, into my quarry, and then just started building walls all around
Oh yeah,
it.
that was our second game.
That was our second game. That was I hate that, Jesus. Okay. This game can get really aggressive. It seems really friendly and casual, but it can get painful.
You get into situations where you're capable of stealing like 120 points from someone in one game.
Yes.
And that feels terrible.
It does, because scores in a 2-player game are going to be in like the 200 to 300 range usually. So you steal 100 points. That's
Yeah.
like a third, maybe even half of someone's score. So we've produced. My geese are also very shy, and there are 3 of them there. They will not reproduce, only when there are 2. Let's move.
Cool.
It's going to go bing, bing. Carrying a couple boards. This guy's going to zoop on back here. And then for paper, I need wood. Wood makes paper. I knew that. I knew you use trees to make paper. Fully aware. I do like the expansion adding some wacky stuff. The core game has kind of stuff you'd expect for the most part, wood and stone. Your ground transports go from animal transports to wagons to trucks. It's sort of a logical progression. And then the expansion adds bombs, businessmen. Sort of not really the next logical step, I don't think.
Airplanes.
Airplanes I get. Airplanes I understand.
Yeah. So, remind me of the order of operations here. Can you drop stuff off and then keep moving, or?
I think yes.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can. I'm going to say yes right now.
Okay.
That you're able to do that.
So I'm going to move 2 donkeys from my woodcutter to my sawmill, and one of them is going to drop off some boards in the sawmill and
Continue on. Yeah. If you can't do that, I was cheating before too.
Sure.
So I had one of my donkeys dancing back and forth between this woodcutter and this sawmill. Drop logs off, get cut, go back to get more. So you got a nice little stack of logs piling up there too. Great. Let's move on then to building.
Cool.
I'm going to use one of these to build another road.
I'm also building a road. I'm trying to make this nice little loop that will all be, that'll be my infrastructure loop. And then I'm going to use 3 of these boards to build a coal burner.
Ooh, a coal burner. You have to throw logs or boards in there to get coal.
Yeah, so that's not going to do anything for me right now, but I think this will pay off quite a bit later on. Or I'm hopeful that it will.
As it's going right now, you're going like direct to the make a mint to make coins route.
Right.
Whereas I'm going for paper to research better mines, so that once I get that done, I can more quickly make coins.
Exactly.
But maybe you'll make the first coin, but I'll catch up,
right.
And we'll see. We're both sort of diverging down slightly different paths here,
right.
Toward the same goal.
The only way to get points is making gold coins or stocks.
Yeah, it's the only way to really get points, because you do get points for the wonder. Like I said, I have 20 points in here right now, but what is a stock worth? 120 for a stock.
So a gold is worth 10 points. Coins are worth 40, and stocks are worth 120.
That's right. And they sort of go from one to the next.
Right.
You need gold in order to make coins. You need coins in order to make stocks. So it makes sense, I guess, that they would sort of increase in value in that way. Cool. Well, you know what? Why don't we move through one more round of this, and then let's, jump ahead and see kind of where this leads us. Now that we've both started diverging down different paths, we can kind of see where it will ultimately take us.
Sounds great.
So let's just play this one more here. So we did the wonder.
We did not.
We're doing the wonder right now. I'm not putting anything into it again.
I also am not.
Which I'm not going to say I'm an expert at this game, clearly.
Yeah.
But I feel like we're not taking advantage of the wonder a lot.
Yeah, I think we're both trying to get some things set up, and part of it is that you require goods in your home tile to send to the wonder.
Right.
They can't just be goods wherever. So
they have to be where you started.
Right. So that can be complicated, because right now I don't have anything there.
Right. And it also has to be, you need a transporter there.
Right.
If you have goods, like I'd sort of be into spending this goose rather, but I don't have a transporter there to do it. And because I only have 3 donkeys like an idiot, I don't really have the luxury of leaving one behind just to build something. Whereas you have 5, you maybe, if you wanted, could do that. But you have other plans, obviously.
Right.
Great. So production, I've produced my buildings, produced at my buildings. Did you produce at yours?
Not yet. Got caught up with the wonder.
Sure.
So then 3 of these logs.
That's my plan, is to distract you from your strategy while I then take advantage of your turned attention.
Yeah, 3 of these logs will turn into 6 boards.
Right, because one guy working at a sawmill can only process so much in a day. You can give him 1 million logs to cut, but he might not be able to cut all of them. Which is actually, there's so much forest on this map that it makes me wonder if it would be beneficial to build like 2 sawmills or woodcutters.
I think that can be a good move, especially if you're doing something like the coal burner or the paper mill.
True.
Where you just sort of passively generate something and then you dump it all in there.
True, yeah, actually for the coal burner especially. Because you can also get coal, there's one other spot to get coal, and that's from the water.
Yeah, from oil rigs.
From oil rigs. Right. But that you need to get boats, you need to be able to transport the stuff to land.
And you need to research oil rigs.
And you need, that's true, and you need to research oil rigs.
So you need to research at least one thing. Mm-hmm. And you can get rafts, and you can get...
what is it?
Oil rigs, I guess.
Yeah, you need 2 rafts, because they can only carry so much.
Right.
Anyway, so that's production. Let's move around now.
Great.
What do I need for that? I need 2. 1. Two. Actually, no, you stay there. You are going to go here. Why don't you go straight down here? I feel like I've messed up a little bit in my my logistical planning here. But that's okay. So I'm going to start needing to get more donkeys. Okay, then it is building.
Great.
Time to build stuff. These phases do go super quick. Initially.
They certainly do.
They definitely pick up later, where you have a ton of stuff to do and you're trying to logistically plan out what goes where. But early on, the first handful of turns can move by real fast.
So I've built another road here, so I've got a nice little roundabout going, so my donkeys can move 2 spaces instead of 1 around this circle. Mm-hmm. Then if I have to build wagons or trucks down the road, they can use them.
Great.
As well.
Cool. I'm still setting up for building, for researching. Getting ready to turn wood into paper.
Sure.
Which I should be doing next turn. Wonder time now. Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna build a road. I meant to build a road as well, because I want to be able to connect some of this stuff a little more freely. I'm gonna plan for the future as well with that road.
Cool.
So I think I'm going to build a mine here for gold, and I'm going to want to be able to transport it to my mint, which is going to be probably here. Okay, well, wonder is going to be our last phase before we kind of see where this all leads us.
Yeah, I see that you have transporters and some geese.
I do have transporters and geese.
I hate geese.
Mm-hmm.
So
I hate geese.
Are you going to send one of those geese to the wonder?
You know,
goose brick.
I am not.
Cool. I'm also still incapable.
You've left your homestead empty.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not, I had considered it because the first couple rounds I had used this extra goose that had bred to turn it into wonder bricks. But now, because I'm setting up for paper, if I were to get to fewer than 2 geese,
there's no way to get more geese
without stealing some from you, which is kind of a fool's errand. Because if you see me, plodding towards you, you're just going to pick up the geese or move them away. So because I know I'm going to want to use this one in research, which I shouldn't have to explain it. I mean, geese and research are linked,
Of course, right.
It's like
no great invention has ever been made without a goose.
That's 100% true. Read any of Newton's journals.
It says it on the box.
It says it on the box. The box is actually, it is Thomas Edison holding a piece of paper that says, without geese, there would be no light bulb.
Yeah. What is it? Research costs?
It costs 2 geese.
Two
it
geese
costs
and
2
a-
geese. Oh
yeah.
man, I thought it was only 1.
2
You know
geese and
what?
a piece of paper. You
know
need
what?
to do the research to...
I'm going back then actually on this.
All right.
I am going to turn this goose into a wonder brick because I'm going to have to use 2 geese to make a piece of paper anyway. There's not much I can do with 1 goose.
Right.
So I might as well use it for the wonder brick now because next turn I'm going to get rid of those other 2 geese. I only need 1 research, I think, to win. So cool. Well, here's where we're at right now. Why don't we skip ahead, 5 or 10, or there's a lot of turns left.
Yeah.
Why don't we skip ahead towards the end of the game and see kind of where this leads us?
Great.
Cool. All right. So we've played a few more turns. Some stuff has transpired. Some stuff's built up a little bit. And the world is a little more complex at this point. You finally built into the wonder a little bit.
Yep. Got a
And
nice Green Bay Packers thing.
We do
going
have a
on.
nice, I didn't even think of that,
Yeah.
but go Pack go. And you've got coins going. I don't yet have coins. I was a bit of a dope. I decided, I was thinking I was going to build an oil rig, and then you reminded me that oil rigs took research.
Yep.
And I decided to spend all my geese entirely on fundamental research, or not fund, sorry, what is it? It's specialized mines.
Specialized mines.
So these mines I've selected would only produce gold. They can also produce iron. Normally they produce both, but you only need iron for a couple of things.
Yeah.
If you want trucks
and steamers.
Yes, so if you want big transports, you need iron. Otherwise, not super important. I guess you need it too to revitalize mine shafts,
That's right.
which is very good. Instead, I've built a second mine. This
Yeah.
one has produced all 4 of its
Yes. This
specialized
mine is
gold.
also tapped out right now. but-
Yeah, this one will produce a little bit more. Actually, we're at the start of a turn right now. We're at production. So why don't we go ahead and produce
Great.
and get that going. So gold will pop right out of this mine and land on this raft I have waiting for it.
This coal burner here is going to burn a whole bunch of boards.
Burn a
And
bunch of boards.
Plop out 2 coal.
Yeah, I'm in a corner here with coal. I have a bunch of gold. I have a mint. I am ready to go. I'm ready to make, actually, I have enough gold right now to make 3 coins,
Yeah.
which is then basically at a stock. But I messed up with the
You
oil
need to
rig.
actually get the coal.
Right, I don't have coal because I have 2 rafts out because I was intending to make an oil rig out here. And then the research gaff happened. So I had a donkey walk over here and build me a coal burner. Only to realize I've upgraded my other donkeys into wagons. And they need roads. I don't have a road to connect this. So, you know what? I am no... What was your name again?
Sam Donkman.
Sam?
No, Donkman Sam.
Donkman Sam. Mr. Donkman. Mr. Sam? I'm still
Yeah.
a little lost on that part.
We're working on it. We'll figure it out.
I'm no Donkman Sam. This is not New Donk City over here. Anyway, so our buildings have produced, and it's now time to continue transporting. See if I can dig myself out of this stupid hole that I got myself into.
Great.
So this guy's gonna carry, I'll carry both of these down here. 1, 2. Yeah, part of this game is you really need to think ahead. You need to really plan out, I want to build a mine here. And to do that, you want to take something that you ultimately want and then work backwards from it to figure out how you need to do it. I didn't do that entirely with my road construction. And so now I'm in a spot where I'm really slowed down. And you have a coin and you're actually about to get a second one I see next round.
That's right.
Whereas I'm sitting here waiting for three coins to come up. Rafts can move 3. 1, 2, 3.
And then how much of your gold have you has come out of this mine yet?
So this has had 3 come out.
Okay.
1 more will come out. Because this raft that I had was carrying 2 is waiting for it all to pop out, and the 3rd one landed this turn. So I brought that back home.
So I was thinking maybe I'll send my donkey over this way to try to get in and steal some gold because I need to build more. But
Indeed.
that feels kind of rude, so I'm actually just going to move it over here.
Sure. Although I will say right now, that would be an opportunity, because right now you are in control of the turn order.
Right.
So you could send your guy there, declare a turn order change before that pops out, shift turn order, and then now that you're going first, you get the priority of taking that when it comes out.
Yeah. So I think
It is an option.
I think the better option for me is sending this donkey over in this
Hop
direction.
in just a little bit here.
Get some more. Get another mine going over here on the side of the board where you don't have any rafts, and then I can start bringing in gold.
Sure.
Over this way.
Sure.
But,
That's legit.
it would be worth it if this is where you were like keeping your stocks, or this is where you had coins coming, or something like that.
Right.
But as it stands right now, it's not that great for me.
Right. When you started, I was worried about you kind of getting close to me when I had this mine sprouting things out. So I built a wall here, just a little green wall. But then realized I need to expand further. So I'll probably expand my walls later if I need to. But we'll see. We still have like half the game to go. Great. So we've moved, correct? At this point in time, this juncture, I'm just sort of waiting. Actually, I'm going to move my wagons.
Yeah. So what I will end up doing is I'll end up building another road.
Yeah, I'm going to end up building no roads yet, no more roads yet. Because what I need to do right now is build roads down here so my wagons can start to move. Actually, that being said, I'm not going to move this guy. Leave him back there. So you're done building?
I'm done building. Just building a road.
Just building the road. Okay, cool. Great, then let's move on to the wonder phase. So for wonder, you have been adding bricks in.
I've been pulling your early game move and sacrificing geese.
Breed a goose, yeah. Right, because you didn't spend all, you bred enough geese to research and still have some geese left over. You should have 3.
I still don't have any transporter there, so I can't do anything.
Right, yeah.
You don't have anyone there.
I also do not. So just
and
another...
You probably wouldn't want to get rid of gold.
I might not want to spend gold on that.
We're also at the point in the game now where you don't just put one thing in, you have to put 2 things.
That's true. Building wonder bricks does end up costing more as the game goes on. There's a little, I think it's on this one. No, it's on
the next one.
This one, yeah. There's a little icon up here that indicates once you cover that, it then costs extra to build bricks into here. This also sort of functions as like a timer for the game, because the game's going to end when it gets up to here for 2 people, but more people has to get a little further in.
Yeah, this game probably gets real messy. I didn't realize it supports up to 6.
6 with the expansion, it supports up to 6.
So it must get messy.
Big maps too.
Yeah.
Think this map is for 2 players, so triple the size of this roughly for a 6-player game.
It's pretty nuts.
It gets to be big. It's kind of neat. The game comes with a little scenario book, which is cool. I like this aspect. I like games that come with multiple rule books. And this guy is the base one, so it only does up to 4, but it's got different like player counts for different maps you can set up. There are rules as well. This is the one we're using. If it's on the first page, yeah. This sucker right here. What's it called? Draw a line. Very expressive name. So it's just got lines drawn here in different colors.
That'll do it.
I like games that come with multiple rule books. I think it's cool when it's got like, here's the rule book and then here's like a reference guide and here's something else. I think it can be kind of nice.
Yeah, it can also be great for maps like that where you can say, okay, I'm playing with 2 players. We're going to do draw a line. Let's set it up instead of like, how do we make the map?
There are rules for making maps too in the rule book. I've never tried them. It sounds messy.
It's nice that there's just, here's the scenario.
Yeah.
I think you could run into situations where one player is like, I am starved out of stone, so now I need to like build this stupid long road chain to get a quarry.
Yep. Having preset stuff, it's cool. It gives some replay value because I feel like you can try to like make your strategy on specific maps really efficient, and you can like think about this map and like what are you going to do on this map next time you play. What did I do wrong this time? I'll tell you, it was not connecting my roads as much as I should have.
Exactly.
Anyway, so Wonder's done. Now we're back into production.
Great. So a big important thing for me this turn is that these 2 gold and this coal is going to go away. And they are going to be Replaced. Could you hand me a coin?
Indeed, I may.
Thank you. And they are replaced with a coin.
Yep. So now you've got 2 coins out,
Yeah.
right?
These logs are going to turn into paper. And we get logs and bricks.
Logs and bricks.
Yep.
It's the cornerstone of this game. In fact, every building only costs boards or bricks.
Yep. So production's done. Ready
Production
to
is
move?
done. It's time to move.
Great.
Indeed. And now I'm, this round, finally able to build roads. This guy go over here. Actually, drop this stuff off. And your mine is empty, right?
My mine is empty.
Okay. So here's 1. Now, I'm going to be honest, you commenting before about thinking of coming and stealing my gold is sort of making me want to try to come and steal some of your stuff.
So a lot of it's pretty undefended here, but it's things like a quarry or whatever.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And you also, well, I guess you do have roads.
yeah.
I'll actually send this wagon onto this raft. And then this raft, which was previously holding gold here, is then going to drive. That's not what rafts do. Rafts don't drive.
Sail, maybe.
Sail, yeah. Paddle. 1, 2, 3. Up to there with my wagon. Because transports can carry transports. But when that's happening, neither can also be carrying something else.
Right.
Fortunately, you do have roads here, so once my wagon is dropped off, he'll be able to ride around.
Yeah. So currently, this gold on your side right here is not carried by anything, so it's not
Correct.
owned. So a transport could just, one of my transports could
Right.
feasibly go.
My
and snatch
5
it.
gold sitting here could just be swept up.
Yeah.
But I see you're a long ways away from getting here.
Right.
I
It
have a
seems
wall
unlikely,
here.
though it's happened.
It has happened in the past, but I'm trying to be more cautious. This is like, when we first started playing Twilight Struggle, I set off thermonuclear war on several occasions.
That is correct.
But eventually I learned
Right.
what the traps were for that. It's like Street Fighter, okay? You learn the traps that you can fall into, and then you train yourself not to fall into them,
Exactly.
okay? All right. So we've moved.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build.
Great. I'm only building one thing this turn, and here's my power play here.
Okay.
I'm going to build a stock market.
Ooh la
I
la.
spend 3 bricks and build a stock market.
Okay. So you build a stock market, and to make stocks, you need 2 coins and paper.
Right. So I've got 2 coins here
Mhm.
and paper here.
Yep. So you're ready to make a
next turn,
stock.
I'm about to get 120 points.
It's a lot of points, and I'm ready. Once I can start producing down here, I can really start making coins because I'm set up to make 3 of them
Exactly.
right now.
You've got the gold to
4, 6. Actually, I can make 4 coins once I start to get the,
quite a few.
and then that's almost set up for 2 stocks.
Right.
I just need the paper. But okay, so we've built.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on to wonder. I'm still not in a position to add to the wonder.
Yeah.
I
I've
see that
got
either.
some geese here, but that doesn't really
No transport. The geese are not intelligent enough
Right.
to sacrifice themselves for the greater,
Oh, how
the
I
greater
wish
good.
they would.
Okay, let's produce.
Great.
And I have all these logs that I just knocked over. Yeah, you kind of get to a point later in the game where a couple of your producers might not be super valuable to you at the moment.
Right.
So I've very much neglected these logs since I made those rafts, because I have a stack. It's maybe hard to see, but I have a big old stack here of logs. I will be using them to turn into paper in a little bit, but they've gone unused, neglected, very sad. It's the saddest short story you can write.
In American history.
Uh-huh. All right, let's produce again.
Great. Yeah, producing.
Producing, yes, not moving yet.
Yep.
Well, I'm just going to reconnect this road so it looks a little nicer. A lot of this game ends up being staring at the board.
That is true.
We are in the movement phase also, just to be clear. So I think this fella is just gonna... here. This guy's gonna drop this. 1, 2, 3. Carrying 3 logs. You know what? I'm gonna take this. This donkey's actually gonna go 1, 2. Start making boards. I'm in a spot where I have so many logs, I feel like I can just use those to make paper and coal. But I have to remind myself how inefficient that is. I'm losing like half the potential quantity. If I turn them into boards, they can be used all the same for that purpose. And this guy is gonna go 1, 2, 3. Drop him off right there.
Cool.
And I think that's all the movement I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm done moving when you are.
I'll drop this gold, I guess, here. 1, 2, 3. I might as well send him out. Well, no. He's gonna stay here because I might want to carry some other things over there. Maybe make another mine. Because I've heard, so I've never done it myself, but I've heard that you can do okay in this game making tons of gold.
Yeah, well, each gold is worth 10 points.
Right. So
and you have...
a specialized mine is theoretically worth 40 points.
Right.
So if there are, 10
right.
places
so I
on
have
here?
80 points on the board right now.
Yes.
Which you have how many gold? 6 gold?
I have 8 gold now.
Okay. Right. So that's a tie.
Yeah, in terms of points, we're equal. You are about to make a stock next round, so that'll be a huge gain. But in theory, I mean, it's 40 points for each one, and there are 10 potential mines. I probably won't get all the gold from every mine, but you could still gain a fair amount of points from that.
Exactly.
40 per times, let's say 8, even half, 5, it's still pretty good. Anyway, let's move on now to building.
Yep.
If you're building anything.
So you dropped off a truck, and I hate that.
I did drop off a truck.
I'm going to build...
You're going to build a wall.
2 walls.
2 walls, thank you.
Yep.
That's a bit of a pain.
Your truck is
landlocked.
Welcome to hang out in this defunct mine.
He would love to. Thank you for having me.
If you want to come back with some iron and repopulate the mine, that'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, maybe...
And then I'll just block you off from sea as well.
Maybe I'm going to have to make a pilgrimage. Now, because I can destroy those walls.
Yeah, if you have a stone.
Boards.
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 Yeah,
2 boards.
2 boards. So actually, it's kind of tricky for you to do that because you can't transport that transport and the...
No, but the transport could do it.
Right.
Because the transport, the raft. Because the raft could, with boards, dock, which he occupies that tile then. And from that tile, I can destroy those with the raft. But he needs to be holding boards to do it.
That's right.
So
you have to...
It would take a lot. It would take a whole lot, yeah. And
this is a fine solution for me right at the moment.
Yes. Right, because otherwise, this next turn, he was going to go running into your whole little infrastructure. Grab some stuff. Maybe wall off your stock market or something.
Right.
Anyway, so we're now back into the wonder phase.
Mm-hmm.
So I am still in a position, as are you, where we can't build into the wonder.
Right.
We had some time in the middle where we had extra dudes sitting around, but not anymore. All right, let's produce.
Great.
So yeah, the something I like about this game is it feels like you are, like you feel like you're impacting the world.
Right.
You're adding things and you're seeing things happen and things grow and change.
Exactly. So the big thing for me is I'm taking 2 coins and 1 paper and mashing them together to make a stock.
Indeed you are.
So if you could hand me a stock when you get a chance.
I don't really want to.
Yeah, well.
Here you go.
Them's the rules.
Unfortunately, the rulebook does say I have to if requested. I finally made myself a coal. And so I can either carry that right now and go ahead and make a coin out of it, or I can wait until I get more coal down there. Be a little more efficient. Oh, this also should have been turned into boards. It had been so long since I made boards. I forgot to. You know, that is sounding a little attractive right now. Now, so it is the movement phase. I think I am going to move this donkey down here. A couple things. And this wagon is going to move up to here. Yeah, because that wagon will come back. Back in a little bit. You know what? I think I'm actually going to have this wagon. No, I'm going to do that. I'm still trying to think of a way to take advantage of me having a wagon in your territory.
Yeah.
But I need boards to go break those walls down,
Exactly.
which is rough. That can be tricky. I'm glad that they do give you those defensive options as walls, because we've played most of this game to this point very friendly. I had this half of the board, you kind of had that half of the board, just trying to be more efficient than the other person. But you can certainly run into spots where you see that you're not going to be able to disrupt that other guy's efficiency without actually getting in there and doing something.
Exactly.
Like to some degree, without that potential for moving in and stealing things, this game could be played out sort of mathematically. Because you can say, well, it's most efficient if I just do these things.
Exactly.
And I can do them. You made one different move, and my way will ultimately get me 10 more points.
Sure.
That's the point where the person losing would try to do something to send the other person off of their strategy. Okay, so are you finished building?
I am.
Okay, so am I.
Or
moving.
I'm not.
Moving. Yeah, building.
Yes.
So go ahead and build now.
Right. I'm not building anything right now.
I'm building a road. Connecting that little loop. And I think that is all I'm building. Yeah. I see you're able to build into the wonder now.
I am.
I'm still not able to, so if you want to, you are more than welcome.
So I'm going to. I don't see myself researching anything else this turn.
Mm-hmm.
For this game.
So
I'm going to spend these 2 geese.
Yep.
Because now I need 2.
Right, because you need 2 to build 1.
My little yellow brick.
And in doing that, you've now secured this row.
Right. Because you're not building anything. So now the next one is neutral.
Yep, which fills the row, and the wonder is scored 10 points per row. And whoever has the most amount of bricks in there gets the majority of those points.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a tie, like it doesn't look like we had a tie in any of these, you would split the points. There's a little chart on this player aid on how you split points when there's a mix of player-owned bricks. Great. Well, at this point, this game kind of moves along sort of at a steady pace.
Sure.
Things slowly start to grow. Once you get an engine going, like you have your stock engine right now.
Right.
What's going to disrupt that is, actually, it's already disrupted. You aren't going to be able to get any more points as it stands.
Right.
Because you can't.
Yeah, I'm setting up to build a mine right here.
Right.
But
so you need to build a mine to get more gold out of it to then go back to working on getting stocks.
Right.
I'm at a point here where I have a bunch of gold. And in fact, in terms of, I guess, long-term booking, let's say, I am a little ahead of you because I already have 2 mines worth of gold. And that is really the longest process, is getting gold out of mines.
Yeah, if we went the rest of the game, I could probably end up making 1 more stock.
Yeah. And I'm in a position now where I have enough stuff. I already have all the infrastructure I need to make 2 stocks.
Right.
All I need is the actual stock market, which is cheap, and then time to move stuff around and produce it. But you have to build more mines right now,
exactly.
and then wait multiple turns to get the mine to produce.
Right.
'Cause it's 1 gold per turn with the specialized.
Exactly.
But yeah, that's Rows and Boats. I have never played a 6-player game of this. I would like to. I think it would be kind of wacky.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you definitely need the right group.
Yes, certainly. Because this game, like you said before, a 2-player game can be knocked out relatively quick, a couple hours maybe, hour and a half. A 6-player game, I bet, would take all day.
Yeah.
We played a 4-player game before, and it took, I think, like 4 hours.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The game starts off where everyone's going at the same time, everyone is doing their thing, but you run into points where at least one person, and by the end of the game, everyone, will say, all right, let's just all sit here in silence, staring at the board, trying to think, what do I need to do next to get ahead? It reminds me a little bit of abstract games in that regard, where something you end up ultimately doing is just staring, thinking about what do I do
What's
this
the next
turn,
best move?
then what do I do next turn, what do I do next turn, what do I do next turn?
Right.
Trying to plan that out, because this game is a game that absolutely rewards forward thinking.
Right. Well, and severely punishes if you make a mistake. You know.
Certainly.
Certainly. Because you could play. You could mirror your opponent exactly on a map like this. We can do the exact same thing every turn.
Right, this is a symmetrical map.
And put bricks in the wonders at the same time. We would end up with an exactly tied score at the end.
Right.
So in that sort of thought process where it's like everyone's going to get a stock, everyone's going to get stocks, everyone's got the same sort of goal. The player who makes a dumb mistake and builds a coal burner way in the back might fall behind.
Right.
And or you built 2 mines, I built 1. Yeah, now you've got the tempo on me. So those 1-turn mistakes have huge consequences.
Yes. Yeah, they can throw, because at one point it looked like you were doing much better than me.
Right.
Because you have a stock already, you're starting to build towards your second one. But that's only because you assembled the pieces before I did. I have the pieces laying out here.
Right.
I just haven't put them together. But when I do, I have enough to double your points.
It'll happen. Yeah, it'll happen more quickly than.
Right.
I could get another stock. So.
Right. So I'm sitting right now at 40-ish points probably before the guys. I have probably 80-ish points right now, 80 or 100 points. Whereas you're sitting at 120 with the stock plus a bunch here. Right now, you are winning in terms of points, but maybe my ultimate infrastructure would be better. 4 lines left.
Yeah, exactly.
Which can end up being, who knows how many turns. That's another interesting thing, too, is I think every time we've played, late game, you might progress through the wonder at a sort of steady pace, but these last 2 lines tend to get filled up in a turn.
The strategy ends up being, I grab 6 boards. I just stack boards in my home tile, and then I say, okay, this turn I'm building 4 bricks into the wonder. Just because it'll be I'm ahead. If I can end this game in the next 2 turns, I certainly win.
Right. Right now, I have a whole bunch of logs sitting here.
Right.
There's once I'm ahead and the game is close enough to its finish, I'll have turned all these logs into boards, stacked them up on my home tile, en masse, and then in 1 turn, wonder comes up, and I think, okay, how many things do I have here? How many bricks could I build this turn?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to build 5. And that's almost a whole row.
Right.
The game will end pretty dang fast once a player wants it to.
Yeah. And that's happened every time we've played.
Yeah.
Because it's a good move.
It is, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, Roads and Boats, fun time. I hope it comes back in print soon so more people can play it.
Yeah, I know that's the buzz when people talk what sort of games or what reprints are you looking forward to, or anytime it's an announcement Food Chain Magnates back in stock, people are cool, how about Roads and Boats?
Yeah. Roads and Boats. I see people talk about Bus now and again.
Yeah.
Because that's been a long time since
Right.
they reprinted it.
Roads and Boats is certainly one of the most unique games I have played.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly.
It takes Splatter's whole thing of like logistics and moving stuff around to its sort of logical source of, you know, in Indonesia you need to like trace supply lines or whatever, like shipping routes. So it's like a more abstracted sort of thing where it represents, you know, boats carrying things during a different path.
Yeah.
But this is, you got your donkeys and you're moving them from point A to point B. You know, it's on the very micro level of what you're doing.
It's very distilled. Like you said, it's like the logical sort of like starting point.
Right.
It's like it's just logistics.
Right.
There's nothing. There's no economy.
Right.
There's no war game. There's no auction.
Yeah.
It is only moving things from point A to point
Right.
B.
The most
to make other
efficient way to
things.
do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a very fun game.
Right.
It can be very brain burning, certainly.
Yes.
And you have to be in, like you said, if you're going to play with 6 people, or even if you're going to play with 2 or 3 people, it needs to be the right people.
Exactly.
Because absolutely, we laughed at the name of this game, and I bet a lot of people would laugh at the gameplay too.
Yeah.
Because it just wouldn't jive with certain crowds. But yeah, we like it. We're into it. And yeah, we'll have to play more soon.
Yeah.